you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who, I might add, tried to destroy the evidence.
So I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since 2 days
ago. The answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House
is known for
months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said
accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents.
Hello, Patriots. Welcome back to Conservative Mandate, where we defend America's core freedoms, expose liberal hypocrisy, and fight to preserve our traditional values. Today, we've got a bombshell for you. We're diving into the heated clash between two polar opposites: Jim Jordan, a defender of accountability, and Adam Schiff, a poster child for political theater. This contentious House Judiciary hearing exposes how the left is weaponizing Congress to undermine our nation's principles. And you won't believe the hypocrisy we uncover. Before we get started, smash that like button, subscribe to Conservative Mandate, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Stick around until the end, because I'll break down exactly what this fight means for you, our Constitution, and the future of our great nation. You'll get the tools you need to push back against the radical left and protect what matters most. Now, let's talk about what really went down in this hearing. Adam Schiff had the audacity to accuse Jim Jordan of ignoring proper process with the White House, claiming Jordan didn't reach out for accommodations. But let's get real, Patriots. Schiff is the same guy who spent years pushing false narratives on impeachment and Russia collusion. Hypocrisy much? The fact that Schiff tried to paint Jordan as the bad guy here is laughable. Jordan made it clear. His job is to get answers for the American people, not waste time kowtowing to the White House. Schiff's entire argument rested on a so-called precedent, the Mazars decision, which conveniently ignores the broader issue. The committee is subpoenaing a private individual who reportedly tried to destroy evidence. Yet Schiff is more concerned about protecting executive privilege than uncovering the truth. Why?
Gentleman from California withdraws a point of order who seeks recognition. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazars decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazars case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this, and I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you've sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce the
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it since 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to the Zwanitzer and the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet.
And
we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material. You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel, both
I'm talking about
the Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who I might add tried to destroy the evidence.
I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since 2 days ago.
The answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing prevented
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
California is known
for months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
And I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said
accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents, because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
We're still waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Why? Because the left isn't interested in justice. They're interested in protecting their own power at all costs. Jim Jordan stood his ground like the patriot he is, stating that he wouldn't tolerate nonsense about being clairvoyant and reaching out to the White House before the issue was even raised. Patriots, this is exactly the kind of leadership we need, someone who won't back down in the face of baseless accusations. While Schiff was busy grandstanding and creating a clean record for court proceedings, Jordan was focused on fighting for transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. And let's not forget, Schiff had the nerve to call Jordan's actions hypocritical, all while dodging his own subpoena obligations. Classic leftist playbook. Accuse others of what you're guilty of. Patriots, this is why we must demand integrity from our leaders and hold them accountable. Schiff isn't interested in fairness or justice. He's playing political games to keep the left's corrupt agenda alive. Let me be clear, this fight isn't just about subpoenas or procedural rules. It's about something much bigger, the left's relentless attack on our Constitution, our values, and our freedom. The radical left wants to silence you, me, and every American who dares to question their narrative. We can't let that happen. We need to rally together, stand firm, and demand that our leaders fight for the truth. So what can you do? First, stay informed. Watch hearings like this one and see through the left's lies. Second, share this video with your friends and family. The mainstream media won't cover this the way it should, so it's up to us to spread the word. And finally, get involved. Call your representatives, support candidates who stand for conservative values, and vote in every election. The future of our country depends on it. If you're fired up about defending the truth and exposing the left's hypocrisy, hit that like button, leave a comment, and share this video far and wide. And don't forget to subscribe to Conservative Mandate for more hard-hitting content. Together, we can hold the radical left accountable and protect the America we love. God bless you, patriots, and God bless the USA.